Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. This episode is going to be the history of where we started. Stay tuned. We'll be starting in a second. I love that. Episode 300 of Morning Minutes with myself, Michael BURGIO, and Mark Novak. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, buddy. Hi, everyone. 300.
300.
How can we talk about anything but 300 on 300? I
know. I got to say, I love the intro. It just pumped you up. That was loud. Speakers were loud. So this morning we thought we will share how we came to be, we could say, the number one real estate podcast. I don't think anyone else does it yet, to this extent or level. So we wanted to sort of share the journey, of how we got started, where did it morph out of, and then maybe how people could do it themselves or think of what they do daily. Because it's been a journey. 300, it's over a year now, Mark.
Well, I guess you could say it's 300 hours divided by 40 hours in a conventional week. And then you're looking at what's that? It's 8 weeks of labor that go into this show.
Yeah.
8 weeks of labor going into this show, have gone into this show. And why are we doing it? You know what? The big thing that it's done is we've tried to basically, isn't it, Michael? The thing that we tried to do was amplify, thanks, Russell, was amplify the conversations that we have in the office. As an office, we've got 40, 50 strong staff. We're having these conversations every day with customers. Yep. And we thought, how good would it be to put that IP, to put that information online and available for people to consume? And now we're at 300 episodes. It's nuts.
It's insane. If we thought it would get to this, especially with I'm just sharing to a couple groups, which is one part of the success with the show, is when we started, if we thought it would be 300 episodes, we've had episodes hit 20, 40, 50, 60,000 views, which it's just unheard of. We're probably averaging a couple thousand views. Like, there's so many benefits to it, like from knowledge, from getting your face out there, from educating people, because it's not a typical.
It's given us clarity every time you and I sort of toss it around. It gives you more clarity on your core business by doing it. Hey, Michael, do you reckon? And I know with today's episode, we're talking about we've got to 300 episodes today. Do you reckon spending that 8 weeks of labor, spending those 300 hours, because effectively it takes up about an hour by the time we prep and rip it up and cut it up and put it out to IGTV and put it out to LinkedIn and put it out to YouTube. Do you reckon it's been good for you?
I definitely, yes, and there's a couple ways, but it's like I sort of look at it that it's sort of like doing a letterbox drop or putting a building up of marketings. Like, depending which way you look at it, from the enjoyment level, love it. From talking through points and discussing and feedback from people, love it. The getting up the extra bit, don't really mind. I was already sort of up early. But then I know a lot of people are going to jump straight away to, does it make you money? Like, that's where you have all those boxes. But I think, in like anything, if you enjoy it, you like it, it's eventually going to it doesn't matter if you make money or it will make you money. It's not one of those things that you can do an episode and be like, made $5 from that or made a sale from that. It's not one of those things. So you've got to sort of get that out of your head, I think, initially.
Well, it's adding value. And you know what I think is interesting?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it's interesting that there's been a lot of incredible companies built off the back of adding value, and people have turned around and said, like, I still don't get it. I actually still don't get it. I don't get Uber, the makeup of that company. I don't get Google. I sort of don't get when you start to introduce most of these companies, and I'm not suggesting where but I'm just looking at it on a large scale. But most of these great concepts that we've seen have been really hard to harness
Mm.
in the inception. So for me, it's been a really hard thing to harness, but I always felt like I was adding value to people because, the experience that we have by working with people 12 hours a day, customers, and then sharing that experience with viewers.
Mm.
That's after so many, if you look at it consolidated, how much experience I have together, over 30 years experience, plus all
Yep.
the IP from the office. It's like, how can you not be bloody adding value to people out there? How can this not be, working for people?
Exactly. And so I'll give you sort of maybe my view of how this started and then sort of the journey. And then obviously people can take away from it what they want, need, and can, and see what they can do. Lovely, my daily fix, you guys. Thank Michelle, just a comment. Yeah, love my daily fix. You guys are so quick to share. You're always busy, but the time to reply to fellow agents are rare. Thank you. And I think that's been huge as well. The relationship we've built with agents, the barriers we've pulled down of a dog eat dog world. Like, I know Lisa is a machine with talking with agents, sharing value, especially through the Tom Panos real estate gym. Like, I really think we're getting a better community of agents. So where did it start? This would have been where it started was, as Mark, your drive to work is about 50 minutes, just under an hour each day in the morning. Yes. And it started probably from me being selfish, really. Like, Mark and I work closely on a lot of deals, but as much as I could absorb from Mark, I wanted to. But during the day, everyone has meetings. If you say we're going to do an hour at lunchtime, it never happens. Like, you've always got to get it at a perfect time. And I was able to, what I started doing then was calling Mark when he was leaving home on the way to work. And we would just talk through deals, talk about what's going on. And obviously Mark was kind enough because he would normally be doing his calls during that time. But we would, especially
calling
with the
clients, calling different
clients.
Crew members, yeah.
So, but we did a lot of deals together. I was wanting to learn, and it was the best time I could get like an hour uninterrupted of Mark's attention. And then it was sort of a one-off, and then you start doing every second day, third day, daily. And then we were doing it probably a month or two daily, just talking. Sometimes it's about shit, what we did on the weekend with a little bit of work. And sometimes it was technical stuff of deals, new marketing stuff we're going to implement. But because most of the time I was learning, so we're talking about general things a client would have asked me, going, what's this? And then I'll go to Mark, what's this? And then this was really in that era where we're like, we've got to do stuff on social media, put properties more on social media. But I always had a passion of not just marketing sold successes or just listed, not that typical sales sort of wank, you could say. And I loved watching educational stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. So I was like, if we could do that, that would be great. And Mark was like, well, let's go live. And I was so reluctant. I hated live. I didn't really like doing lives. And I pushed against it hard. I was like, and then Mark would, at the time, it was through Facebook. Well, do you want to go through that story? That's sort of my view. You go take it from here. Otherwise, I'll talk the whole time.
Oh, what do you mean? Like the technical side of what we're using?
Well, even that period of it.
Everything. Oh, okay. I'll take from that point. I'll take this chapter. So then it was like, yeah. So then it was like, and I think also, Michael, to be honest, and probably you won't like me saying this, but I think there was it was a time in your life where you needed, it wasn't just professional development. I think you just, you were going through your spinal stuff, pain, and obviously medicated pain relief and stuff like that. So to be honest, I was probably a bit worried about you as well, as an employer and as a friend and a young bloke. So it was like, you know what, let's stick close. And then when we developed the show, we went live. it was like, okay, well, this is sort of just an extension of what we talk about in the morning on a professional level anyway, and a bit of mucking around, and let's see how it goes. And it just, I guess it just, I think we started pushing ourselves. We built the studio downstairs on the back of it, and we started pushing the professionalism of it, and the where we distributed to. So the show started getting cut up, and put onto IGTV, and put onto YouTube, and put onto all the other channels, aside from Facebook. And then we started. Then we like naughty school kids suddenly go at university. We started starting to really try to get the content, better for people. But that's where it came from. Hey, that's where this show came from.
And it was supposed to be 5 minutes. So at first with Facebook, like, let's just do a quick 5-minute one. I think I was
out to 20 to 30 minutes, and they were like, "Nah, we've got to stick to 15."
Yeah, and even at first we started like we're both in the car, and then obviously some people like you're both driving, and we're like, yeah, true. And then I get in earlier. Yes. Then we got like monster camera and lights and a green screen. And then Facebook shut it down, the concept. Facebook stopped us.
There's always a stuff up, guys. If you haven't, I don't know if you guys haven't noticed if we covered it up well or not, I don't know. But generally every day we stuff something up. It's a bit like flying a bloody, I'm sure, like flying an airplane in a cockpit, having all these different things. If you saw the setup that Michael had to do for this in the morning, and the procedures, and even what I'm doing, it's military. And we've had a few friends on the show, and they love to have a talk pre-show. And for that 15 minutes, you've got to be on point, because if you miss a trigger, you can miss something critical out for the show. But what a ride! And thank you, everyone.
And thank you, everyone, for watching. Morning, Admiral. Do you remember how many times it used to drop out during Facebook, the quality, and we had created 4 attempts with access? Like, it's been a phenomenal journey. And
what about, do you reckon, like, I must admit, and I'm saying this to encourage people out there, if they're ever considering doing something like that, the amount of value that I've had mirrored to me from customers, friends, or family, the amount of value and feedback that we get, it has just been really, really outstanding. Because I think if a lot of people have got that property in them, that property person in them, but they sort of don't know where to get the information. And Michael, where the hell would you have got this information ever? Like, you can't get it out of a TAFE textbook. You can't get opposite a real estate agent this much. Where the hell would you have got this information?
Yeah, exactly. And we're not saying we're always right or wrong and our way is the right way, but we're sharing one aspect, and we're sharing our views. And we've definitely got enough runs on the board individually to have, like, it's not like someone being a life coach and their life's shit, or financial planner who's trying to tell you how to run. Like,
I've had a lot of family upset that we share so much. Family and friends, they're like, why would you tell people how to do what you're doing in terms of negotiation and strategy and social media and all those aspects? Why would you share? Like, it's weird that most people out there wig out saying, "Nah, you don't share that shit, dude. You keep it to yourself. If it's working, don't share the secret herbs and spices."
I think you just always keep moving forward, but if you're educating the client, educating the people, I just don't see a problem with it. And you be transparent. Like, I look at it like Tom Panis would always be like, you've got to be that not influencer, that main point. Like, you've got to be the person in your suburb. Everyone needs to know that you know your shit, you do the deals. Like, you've got to be that lead guy. And this is a great way for us as agents to just be like, Northern Beaches, we know our shit, because a potential client can really do their due diligence on us. Like, if I'm looking to pick an agent to sell something, and they're all the same, they've all got great testimonials online, because who puts a bad one up? Seriously, they've all got sold properties. They've all it's all just the same. So, but then you look on their personal page to see what they're really like, or you meet them face to face. Like, I just feel like when I get called into an appraisal or a meeting, they know a lot about us, and it really just fast tracks everything. They know we're educated in what we believe and transparent, and people like it.
You were limited to a website before, and it said Michael has had 8 years experience and has been a lovely young bright man in the eye. Like, you go, no, that's all you know about the agent before you get him in. Now, Amal, before we time out, I think Amal's trying to tell us to get off.
Yeah.
Before we go,
we did make that. We got up to 40 minutes sometimes, and we were like, maybe it's a bit long.
We did. This is the 15th segment. Amal's dropping kids off to school. She watches herself, and the kids listen to their music, and the kids are a lot smarter listening to us guys. Thank you so much. Amal's been a massive supporter. Luke Marie's been a massive supporter. And the community, our real estate and local community have been massive supporters. Thank you so much, everyone. There's our 15 minutes done. There's 300 series done.
Yes.
And are we going to run out of stuff to talk about?
Never. Oh, that's our biggest one. People always go, how do you find it? Well, maybe we'll keep that a secret, because we still don't know. All righty.
Thank you. You've committed to it. We've even had a few harsh conversations between each other about missing the show.
Yeah, I had it, especially when it was medical. I always had a good excuse, but you've got to. It's a consistency to anything, just like the gym. So. And
Lee Woodward turned around to us and said, "Would a news anchor, if you're a pro, are you a pro? Like, we're pros? Okay." Well, a news anchor is a pro. They would never miss their commitment. So we're okay, we can't miss this.
We didn't take it serious until Lee Woodward, one of the
nailed us.
Industry, just goes, "You guys are pros," and we're like, "No, we're just having a bit of fun. If we miss it, we yeah."
Nah.
The audience you've got, the rip, he's just like, "Nah, you're there." He told a story of Christian, one of his guys was sick or something happened, and 1,000 people paid $300 a ticket to listen to him talk. You fucking get up there and talk. So if you don't treat it serious, your viewers won't treat it serious, and they won't treat you. So I think that was a wake-up call we only had 3 months ago, to be honest.
Massive,
we were like, we got 1,000 views, 5,000. So it's been great. All righty, we'll be back Monday.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, everyone. Love ya.
Cheers. Bye.